Hello everybody. Welcome to the Chicago Burlington and Quincy Railroad and the Chicago and Northwestern Railway in Wyoming. Today is January 3rd, 2025, and this is Layout Update number 62. I'm Mark Pruitt, lineman. December was a very busy month, everywhere but on the layout. On the 15th, I flew to New Jersey for a week for a friend's son's wedding. That was a long flight. My arms were really tired. While I was there, I caught COVID. I didn't know it until I'd been home for a few days. Symptoms were the worst on Christmas Day, kind of like a moderate cold, but it kept me sidelined for a few days. If it doesn't sound like I had a whole lot of time to get work done on the layout, you heard right. This will be a short update. Let me show you what I did get done in December. The only thing I did this month that was a carryover from November was work in Powell. This is where we left off with that in last month's update. Early in December, I finished adding cork for roadbed to the area. This was followed immediately with laying the main track through the entire town, followed by the first test run with a solitary loco. For this test, I simply spiked the points of all the turnouts in place. Ground throws weren't installed. I also was using temporary power feeders. Here's an overview of Powell on the lower level as of December 9th. Over the next couple of days, I ran the power bus for the new track and connected all the feeders. This particular connection point is just beyond the current end of track. I'll need to build new benchwork before I can extend the track further. Before I left for New Jersey on the 15th, I ordered a couple bundles of Microengineering Code 55 track from Iron Planet Hobbies for the two remaining sidings in Powell and trackage to come in Cody. It arrived just before Christmas. On Christmas Day, I posted my third annual Christmas layout tour. The link to it is in the description. On the 27th, the first day after COVID I felt good enough to do anything, I bopped down to the train room to open the new package of track. What a surprise I got! The package contained two bundles of N-scale Code 55 track. Someone had misread my order. I called Iron Planet Hobbies and they sent me a return mailing label. Because of COVID, I couldn't get out to ship the package until yesterday. But it's on its way now, and I expect my HO track to be shipped early next week. Since I couldn't do track work, I turned to installing ties under switches and adding the ground throws. Here's a short video of me installing one of the ground throws, or a short video of the back of my hands anyway. First, I pull the spike holding the points against the stock rail. Then I drill the hole in the throw bar for the pin on the ground throw. I do this in two steps, first with a number 60 drill, then I open it to final size with a number 54 drill, which leaves a hole a few thousandths of an inch larger than the pin on the ground throw. After cleaning off the drill dust, I carefully place the ground throw with the lever vertical so the throw is centered, then pin the points equidistant between the stock rails. I make sure the ground throw rod is aligned with the turnout throw bar, which you can't see because my hands are in the way. Then I carefully drill a pilot hole for the first mounting nail, again using the number 60 drill bit. This is actually showing me drilling the second hole. The first hole was even more blocked by my hand than this one is. I use 5-inch long number 19 flathead wire nails to secure the ground throw. The pilot hole is deeper than the nail is long. The hole diameter is smaller than the nail diameter, but large enough to allow me to just push the nail into position while the hole still grips the nail tightly. The final step is to test that the ground throw works as it should and doesn't bind up when being thrown. I did all but 2 ground throws and switch tie sets. Those will be done in the next day or two. Early in the month, before leaving for New Jersey, I renumbered a 210-2 Santa Fe locomotive I got from Bill in Sheridan. I discovered that the lettering on Proto 2000 locomotives is a lot more difficult to remove than the lettering on Spectrum and BLI locos. After working for an hour, I was only to this point. On the other two brands, the lettering was completely removed by now. An extra half hour of work got the numbers completely removed, but to my dismay, it also exposed some of the plastic cab wall under the paint. That's those green spots. This happened on both sides of the locomotive. I cleaned up, repainted, and added the new decals to both sides and the tender before leaving for New Jersey. When I got back, all I had to do was add the final coat of flat finish to the new decals. All that was left was to tune up the mechanism. I did that on December 28th. Here's a short clip of the loco during a test run. I sure like the way these Proto 2000 locos run. It's too bad Walthers discontinued the line. Believe it or not, folks, that was it for December of 2024. The year kind of went out with a whimper. But on the 1st of January, I drove my wife to Denver to catch a flight to China, where she'll be visiting her relatives for the next 6 weeks. That means I should get a lot done through about mid-February. Maybe I'll make up for December's lack of progress. I'm going to work on track work in Powell as soon as the replacement track arrives. I'll also spend time on a few more locomotives. I have a lot of them waiting for DCC conversion. I may start on the new benchwork for Cody, but it's pretty cold in the garage, so I may save that for spring when the weather warms up a bit. There are a lot of structure and freight car kits waiting to be built, so maybe I'll do some of that. Don't forget the Cronkite segment coming next. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you next month. In the Cronkite segment last month, I talked about version 2 of the layout in 2005. This month, I'll talk about the Behemoth Helix. Version 2 of the CB&Q in Wyoming was a 2-deck layout with a 4-track helix connecting the 2 decks. With the outer track radius being 42 inches, that meant each half circle of the helix would require a full sheet of plywood. On the 25th of November, 2005, I picked up a stack of half-inch plain plywood plus 2 sheets of a high-quality grade of 3/4-inch plywood from Lowe's. With help from friend Walt, we unloaded all that plywood, cut it out, then began construction by stacking up all the sections and drilling out the holes for the threaded rod supports. Over the next few days, I built the suspension frame at the ceiling. No, Shamu didn't escape from SeaWorld. That was me in 2006. Then I spent all of December installing threaded rod and hanging all the plywood that would support the track. I had to run it all the way up the rods from the bottom so I could lower it down one section at a time as I built the helix. Next time, I'll go over the first few months of 2006 and how the helix progressed. And that's the way it was during the last months of 2005.